Hi everyone, Dan the Biology Man here. I will be running a live discussion here talking about science communication and what all of you feel are the most effective and important methods to translate and communicate the sciences to the general public. So I got a ton of questions from my side of the question box, and I just want to go through them. At the end of this discussion, I'm going to list all of these names because you have to follow every single one of these pages. They are all great science communicators. They're all doing great things. So after this, I will provide links to all of these handles so you can check them out. So first, we have from Circe Verga. She says, having a conversation instead of lecturing is most important. You have to be engaging. And I couldn't agree more. So if you're just lecturing, you tend to lose a huge amount of your audience right off the bat. Because instead of bringing in people, you tend to, unintentionally in many cases, project your beliefs and what you feel is most important. So having the conversation is most important. Ask questions constantly. This is an absolute must. Make them feel like they're a part of this conversation because you may be the facilitator here. They're just important in this case. If they're not listening, you have nothing. So you have to make that connection right off the bat. And we have from Clayton Fisher. And also, if at any point, if any of you have any input yourselves, I'll be happy to read it, start a conversation here as well. From Clayton Fisher, photography's great, by the way. Just check out your page. It's amazing. Really great stuff. He says, listening and engaging with the public, not lecturing them. Again, circling back to what Circe said, you have to have the conversation. You have to be willing and accepting of their insight because you might learn something too that you weren't expecting, and it'll make you a better science communicator as a result. And we have from Chemical Reaction, does great videos. I highly suggest you check out his videos. They are very fun, very engaging. He has a lot of pop culture influences, and he's currently doing a spooky science week. He started out with vampires. I suggest you check that out. Very funny, very great. And I firmly believe you have to have fun with all of your science communication. If you go into anything without enthusiasm and without excitement, people are going to pick that up. You have to be fun. You have to be engaging. He says memes, videos, and physical experiments. Memes are taking off right now, as you all can see, and the science ones are absolutely incredible. And again, what they do at the beginning is make you laugh. You come out of it thinking you just saw a funny meme, and you learn something. So it's the best of both worlds there. And again, videos. His videos are great. Videos right now, I believe, are key in all of this. You have to have fun with the videos. You have to show with visual aids what you're doing. And physical experiments. Again, this is crucial. So instead of talking about the results, if you're hands-on with your experiments and you really key in on all the key concepts, take it step by step, it's huge. Thank you, Chemical Reaction. Again, all of these names I'm listing, I will provide handles at the end for all of them because they are all amazing science communicators, and I highly suggest you follow all of them after this. They're all amazing. We have from Soph Talk Science, live events and live videos are great. And Soph is huge in soapbox science, which is very big in the UK right now. I really wish it would be more in depth in the US and North America, but right now in the UK, what they do is take a literal soapbox, sit it down, they'll stand on top of it, and they will project a science theme to the general public, which I think is absolutely incredible. We absolutely need more of that here. And Soph is a huge proponent of that. She says live events and live videos are awesome, and I couldn't agree more. With live videos like this, we're allowed to have a discussion. The back and forth is absolutely crucial. Instead of just constantly projecting your beliefs and your ideas, always, always give room for insight and engagement and conversation. You're going to hear the word engagement a lot. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Again, this is Dan the Biology Man. Chinmaya invited me to host this live discussion. I'm very, very grateful for that. Thank you, Chinmaya, if you're watching. Then we have Pooja at Science Way. She says on and offline outreach. Just go out and talk science. It works best if it's fun, friendly, and creative. And again, it's a common theme in all of this. It has to be innovative. It has to be fun. It has to catch people's attention. It has to keep their attention. Ask them during your events what they think of it, because we're all learning here. Hello. It is absolutely crucial to take the time to ask people what they think of it, what could be added to any discussion. Never at any time, thank you so much, Shemaya, never at any time just go off without expecting and accepting insight from everyone watching. M. Kimaker says analogies. I'm huge in analogies. I couldn't agree more with this. I set up my personal page, Dan the Biology Man, about 2.5 years ago, and what I'll do is lay out a pop culture reference. I'll take that and I'll try to tie in some analogies that tie in usually biological concepts, hence Dan the Biology Man. I will go a little physical sciences route, but analogy is absolutely huge. If you take the time, you can tie in any reference that's available to the public, the general public, that everyone, not everyone, but most people will know about. If you take that information and you can tie it into a concept, what you're doing there is you're bridging the gap. You're creating a link that people have a built-in understanding towards, and if you can take that and you can tie it into a concept, there'll be something that they're very big into to begin with. You build this bridge here, that's there for life. You're going to have that link, and they're always going to be able to refer back to what they're interested in to begin with, to any concept at all. So analogies, absolutely huge. Analogies, metaphors, anything you can do to help bridge that gap of understanding. Stories of a Scientist says storytelling. And if you have never seen Martin's page, Stories of a Scientist, he has some of the highest quality stories you will ever see. You could seriously see, he should have a show with what he does with his stories. They're absolutely incredible, very professionally done, absolutely amazing. So storytelling is a must. You can start it out telling a narrative of any kind to try to get people involved. You throw in the concepts slowly but surely, instead of just delving out information, I think is absolutely huge. And Stories of a Scientist, Martin, he is absolutely awesome at doing that. He is constantly going around the world to different conferences and events. He's constantly learning, like all of us are. Never, ever feel like you know enough. None of us do. Just keep learning and take that information, take what you just learned, and give it to the public. See what they think. We also have from SciComm Kate. She says analogies and relatable examples. And again, analogies and the relatability are absolutely huge. You can take the most difficult concept imaginable. You can break it down into its simplest form. Use the analogies to strengthen that foundation that you receive. And we have from Risa G. She asks, how do you come up with analogies to explain key concepts in science? So usually what I do, I will take something that I'm interested in and use that as a foundation. So if I have the built-in interest in it, it's going to be easier for me to get started, and the enthusiasm I feel shows in that case. I also do some research in the form of taking a concept I know nothing about. I usually do that with animals. I'll learn about a different animal, something that I'm totally interested in. But again, it's something that I'm interested in just based off of the appearance of this animal. So I'll take any field that I'm interested in. I'll work to see what I want to tell about that aspect. So I'll see. For example, it's been a while, but a little over a year and a half ago, I did a little concept on why toothpaste and orange juice are so awful together, right? So I didn't even know it existed, but I found a picture of Ben and Jerry's toothpaste and orange juice. I used that to grab people's attention because this is Instagram, so the image is huge. So I'll take that. I talked about how the frothing and the acidity just absolutely do not mix, and the effect it creates, the astringency it creates in the mouth is absolutely unpleasant. So I also use a lot of, I try to, what I think is funny, I hope you think it's funny as well, I try to use little jokes in there because at the end of the day, all of this has to be fun. It has to be interesting. It has to be engaging. And I firmly believe that if I'm not having fun, you're not having fun. So whatever anyone writes or records, it has to be fun. You have to show that you're having fun because science is fun. Learning is fun. It is all supposed to be fun. And looks like that is it for the pre-questions there. Thank you all. And again, after this, I will provide everyone's handles that gave an example. They all need to be followed immediately because they're all absolutely incredible science communicators. And let's see here. What are the biggest challenges you have faced in science communication? Let's see. I think it's the unknowing, really. It's, will this work? I have the enthusiasm, but how will it translate? And I question that all the time. I don't think there's ever been a post that I've done, and again, I've been very silent on my page. You've pretty much been focusing on the sci community at this point, but I promise you, I will be providing a lot more posts soon. I have about 250 to 300 half-done topics myself right now, and I promise you, I will start to deliver them. And that is, a part of it, too, is that it's the uncertainty, right? We don't know what's going to work. We think we know what's going to work, but it's the translation. What's lost in translation? Does this come out as I expect it to? Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I feel that a topic that I choose to communicate is going to go over really well. Sometimes it doesn't. But I've learned you can't let it discourage you. If you do anything, just the only thing that you can control is the quality of content. If you feel that it is 100% up to standards, to your own standards, and it doesn't go over as well, that's fine, because you did your personal best on this. And I firmly believe that. Do not let anything discourage you. If you can see, engagement is low all over the board right now with a lot of our pages. That is not a correlation whatsoever to the quality of content. Don't let it bother you. Just keep going. Keep dishing it out constantly. Let's see here. Thank you, Chinmaya, for that. And again, the other thing is, I'm sure all of you are highly aware of imposter syndrome. It is 100% absolutely real. There's always the questioning, the uncertainty, but you just have to realize these thoughts, they're normal. If the uncertainty, the questions you have for yourself, do I belong here? You all belong here. Everyone belongs here. Whatever your qualifications are, they matter. Trust me, they matter. But they don't matter in terms of what your end result is. If you have the enthusiasm, the drive, and the willingness to communicate the sciences to as many people as possible, that's all you need on here. You have to have that. If you don't have that enthusiasm, really you have nothing. So just, I would say, take the time, study your concepts, study the materials, everything that has to go into it, fully ingest it, fully learn everything you can about this topic. look at it different ways. Look at it backwards, frontwards, side to side. Break everything apart to its simplest parts. It's A, B, and C, everything about it. Lay it out and try some trial runs. Just maybe you do a concept, you do a post or a live video or a live stream, anything at all. And maybe the ideas are there, but the translation isn't. This concept, you might still feel is great. It didn't get the engagement you thought it would or that you wanted it to, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be revisited. So I would absolutely take the time, put it on the back burner, look at it again, see what you could have improved upon. If anything can have any work done on it, do it. Don't stop until you feel it's perfect. And then see where you're at. And I would just say to everyone watching, everyone that will see this, we are living in an absolutely awesome time. So social media, it has its cons, but here it has its pros as well. We have the ability to connect with people from all over the world, regardless of where they're located. And that is a huge, huge thing. It's also a huge responsibility. So I would absolutely take the time to fact check everything that you do in any social media whatsoever, because the last thing we need is for incorrect information or invalid information. And again, we are human, so sometimes we might see sources that are a little wrong, maybe. As long as you take the time, you take the due diligence to research as much as you can, and you give out your best, and what you believe is absolutely factual 100%, you're fine. So I would just say, have fun with this. No matter what you do in life, you have to have fun. If you don't have the drive, the enthusiasm, and fun, and if it doesn't show in everything that you do, no one else is going to have fun. So just make sure you have fun, because all this is absolutely fun. It's all great. Thank you all for joining. I'll stay on for, let's see here. How can we encourage our lab mate to be involved in SciComm or see SciComm in a positive manner? That is an absolute great question. So right now, it is very discouraging with some of the Sci community members I've been seeing, been talking to them. There is a good portion of the world that sees science communication and SciComm as a waste of time. So what I would say to these people is show them what you're doing. Take the time to walk them through everything. If they come out of it after that feeling the same way, you've done all you can. At that point, it's their choice to not be involved in the SciComm movement, and that's perfectly fine. Science, what we're doing right now, we're trying to break apart the stereotypes and the solid understanding of what a scientist is, what a science communicator is. It's tough. We're going back hundreds of years of science here. So we're trying to make it more digestible, more manageable. And there are a lot of people all over the world still that are holding on to these outdated beliefs that science should be reserved to a select few, a designated few that deserve this information. But in reality, everyone on this world should have access to the same science that we do. They should be able to understand it as we do on certain topics or anything at all. If we're not taking the time to communicate the sciences to everyone, what we're doing is we're slowing the growth. We're stunning it. If we choose to stay in this box, this little tiny box, and not break free from it, I believe it's harming it. It's doing a lot more harm than good. So I would just tell them to see your work, show them your work, show how people are engaging with your work. That is the biggest thing. everybody needs results. We live in a world where if you don't see results, you have nothing. So show them what you're doing. Show them how it's working. And ask them for their input. Try to get them involved. Say, for my next post, I know you're not into science communication, but would you be willing to help me with the topic? Show them how much fun they're having, because I swear to you, they will have fun, and they will see it completely differently. So thank you, Sheet Chemistry. That was an absolute great question. Let's see here. Chinmaya, what can we do to improve communicating science? I believe that the biggest thing we can do right now is to network with all of us. We're all learning. We all have different approaches. We should talk to each other, collaborate. That's the biggest thing right now we're doing with the Sci community. Most of the posts, if they're not intro posts, they will be a collaborative effort between at least 2 Sci community members, and sometimes it will be a Sci community member with an outside Sci-Com enthusiast or a science communicator. And I think that is absolutely huge right now. Collaboration is an absolute must. The exchanging of ideas and concepts and the ways of doing things, you might go into it thinking you have a certain way of doing things and you think it's the best for you. And I've seen it firsthand. Just have conversations with fellow science communicators. See what they do, see what works, and incorporate it into what you do. Focus on every single collaboration that you do, every single partnership that you do. Be completely open to their ideas and their way of doing things, and you just might reinvent the wheel with your information. So, another thing I do want to say, if you are in the waiting for Sci community introductions, we have been doing them every Friday. We have so many in the waiting right now, and we're going to try to do them on days that we don't have original content in the collaborative form. We're going to start doing more. So we might have weeks where we have 3 to 4 introductions. We might have, again, weeks where we only have 1. It all depends on if we have content for that scheduled day. But I want you to know, just because you don't have an introduction on the Sci community, you're still a member. Everyone is a member. The Sci community is for everyone. If any of you watching wants to get involved, you can send a direct message to the Sci community or to my personal page, Dan the Biology Man, and we will get you started. The only requirement is that you have the drive and the passion to communicate the sciences. That's it. That's the only qualification we need. As long as you have the willingness, you could be just starting out. You could have a page, a personal page, you could have no Sci-Com on it. As long as you have that willingness, we are willing to help you. We will do all that we can to help build up your page. We've actually had several pages. They hadn't had a single science post whatsoever. Came to me saying their ideas, worked with them, and now they're taking off. It's absolutely incredible. So, I absolutely also want to thank Chinmaya and the Addictive Brain. I think this is a great page, Chinmaya. It's absolutely awesome, and I feel so privileged and honored to be a part of this. I really love what you're doing. I also suggest everyone that's watching, if you're not already, follow all of the contributors to the Addictive Brain. They're all awesome. So, yeah, thank you, Chinmaya. So let's see here. This way, just make sure I didn't forget any of the questions here. Oh, one last thing. I do believe that visual aids are huge. There's only so much that you can project through text. Fortunately, we live in a world where attention spans are growing shorter and shorter and shorter. We have to take advantage of that with video. There was a study that I saw a few months ago saying that in 3 years' time, children aged 11 to 17, 70% of these will watch their media and everything on their phones. They won't watch TV, they'll watch YouTube. And what we're trying to do with the sci community on our Nexus YouTube channel, we're trying to take advantage of this because video is absolutely crucial. If you're not into video, I was never into video. I'm going to be honest, I'm super nervous to do this right now, but you have to push yourself out there. You have to do video because we live in a world now where video is king. It's absolutely 100% crucial. So even if you don't like being behind the camera, take it a different way. Maybe you'd like to do interviews on the streets, video documentaries, anything like that. You could use your voice if you'd like to. Anything, as long as it's in the video form, I believe it's absolutely huge. Let's see. Let's see if I missed anything else. Okay. Yeah. I think I did cover everything. So, again, I want to thank all of you for watching. Thank you so much for taking the time to be a part of this. Just by watching this, you're showing your interest in science communication. You're showing your beliefs in this. And this is, I 100% believe, this is the way to reach the world. Thank you. So, keep doing what you're doing. Don't let failure set you back. Take it as a learning experience. Everyone involved in science knows failure is a gigantic part of this. If you fail, pick yourself back up, keep going, use it as motivation. Never stop doing what you're doing. As long as you have your goals in mind, you have your beliefs in mind, and you dish out the best possible science communication on your end, that's all you can do. If you don't get the engagement you're looking for, that's totally fine. Take the time, you can reinvent it. You can reinvent whatever you do. You can look at it differently. Take these as learning experiences to see what didn't work and go a different route next time. Also, collaborations, I believe, are key. After this, I'll list all of these science communicators that left their ideas. Again, they're all doing great things in their own right. And that's one of these great things about science communication. There are so many ways to go about this. So many. And just by looking at this few, it's like about 10 or so, just by them, you can see through that catalog, they all do things differently. They all do things effectively. You have to have your own personal stamp on everything that you do. Love everything that you do. Have fun with everything that you do. As long as you're having fun, it's going to show. I promise you that. Let's see. Yes, this will be available. As soon as this is over, I will save it. It will be available for 24 hours, and I'll also save it to the camera roll, give it to Chinmaya, and it will be available as well. So I think that about wraps things up for now. I want to thank all of you so much for taking the time to watch this. Again, very cute. As you can see, I'm a behind-the-scenes guy pretty much, but you know, I'm pushing myself right now, and I believe all of you should as well. Go out of your comfort zones, communicate sciences the best of your ability, and that's all you can ask. So again, I want to thank you so much, Chinmaya, for this opportunity. It's been an absolute blast, and this will be available on the Addictive Brain in the live stream for the next 24 hours, and I will also provide the handles for everyone that provided their insights, and I firmly believe you should follow them. You know, a follow is free, right? So don't worry about your follower count. Follow all of these. Follow Cheat Chemistry as well. Follow everyone. If you see a science communicator, just follow them. Get to know them. Ask them questions. See what works for them. Do the due diligence to make yourself better. Never feel like you're at 100% because we are all learning here. We're all constantly learning from each other. So take the time, ask questions, get to know everybody, and build friendships. And I want to thank all of you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you all soon.